This is the Rebel Call channel. Welcome to today's show. While there's never a motive for any of these shooters that go into schools that they're either not a member of or they're just transferred into or enrolled a few weeks prior to, there's never a motive for them, is there? But you know who there always is a motive for? The shadow government, or just the government in general, which is a shadow government because the people who pretend to be our politicians in charge are all actors for other people. They're just there to pretend like we voted them in and then they're doing their best to provide for us to make a better society. But that's all part of the charade. That's all part of the simulated reality, so to speak, that we live in. And you may have seen I did a video yesterday as of me recording this called The Devil Went Down to Georgia. Never let a good crisis you create go to waste. And I talked in that video about a topic you're not going to hear the alt-right talk about. I talked about a topic you're not really going to hear anybody talk about. While most people who are looking at the event and talking about it potentially being done by the government, they're screaming about the government coming to their door and taking their bang bangs, which of course is part of it. It is part of what's going on. They are trying to de-arm the civilians. They're trying to pass red flag laws and then change what people interpret as a terrorist. It's no longer Osama bin Laden. It's no longer the guy hiding in a cave. It's people who speak the way that me and you speak and have the ideas that me and you have, which are all ideas that are non-harmful. They're just ideas that are exposing the government and these secret societies for who they really are. And they can't have that because they can't have a mass awakening. And in that video, I talked about something, again, that no one's talking about, and that is the building of this surveillance state, which doesn't seem to be a concern to the alt-right media. In fact, they're trying to get you on board with newer and newer and newer technology. And in that video, which if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you do watch, there was a news clip that aired from one of the teachers at this supposed school. And he was talking about, thankfully, they had this technology in place that they were able to put the school into lockdown, and because of it, it saved lives, right? And I said right there yesterday in the video that that was going to be an agenda going forward, that it wasn't just going to be about grabbing your weapons, it was going to be about building a surveillance state around us with artificial intelligence. Remember, when all these people make memes and they crack jokes about Klaus Schwab and eating Z bugs, they've turned it into a meme. What they never talk about is the underlying words of what they are preaching. They are preaching about taking down the infrastructure and building a new one. AI governance, smart city governance. It's right on their website. It comes right out of their mouths. Nobody seems to understand what that means. It means that we're giving power over to technology. The technology knows what's best for us, and we don't have to worry about who's behind the technology. We don't have to worry about the people programming the technology. We just need to go along with it because technology doesn't see bias. Humans see bias. You see, that's what they're creating right now. They're telling all of us that we see skin color, we see gender, we see sexual preference in the bedroom. We're the problem, but AI doesn't see it. But the fact of the matter is, of course, AI sees it. They're just going to believe that it doesn't. And they want to get AI in place everywhere. AI governance means AI is in place, which means infrastructure comes down, and then cities start popping up cameras, schools start installing cameras on your street corners, which already exist, camera, and thus you suddenly have a surveillance state, all done by design, right? You know, the government creating these events at schools, the government allowing criminals to run amok, the government promoting all these crime shows, making them popular so people see these crimes getting solved by who? By CCTV and DNA, right? The two things they care about most, putting in a police state and then getting access to your genetic code so they can alter it. Really convenient, isn't it? So I did that video, and less than 24 hours later, look at the stories that have popped up. Delaware school district using new AI device to search for weapons. Niagara Falls, AI camera technology has been installed that could save many, many lives. Do a quick Google search and see all of a sudden how many news station, local affiliate, all Tavistock news anchors, trained government assets, as what news anchors are. These people don't go to school like me and you. They might go to a university, but they're trained secretly in mind control operations and hypnotism. Okay, because that's what the news is. It's hypnosis. They're putting the audience under hypnosis. You're watching a box. You don't know who's on the other end of the box. And you're just believing what you hear in this box is what's going on in the world. You never for once think that they could be creating this to completely alter your perception of what's going on in the world, to manipulate you. That's what they're doing. It's hypnotism. They want you to think that the news, the people there are journalists. People are phoning into the news. Hey, somebody just got robbed. Oh, we're going to come over there and we're going to film it and do a news story on it. Nobody even thinks about how the news is even processed because they haven't been trained to. And in this day and age, nobody's even thinking at all, so they don't even need to explain it to you anymore. You turn the box on, you're supposed to believe what you see, and you never think there's an agenda behind it. But there always is. Every news story has an agenda behind it because it's manufactured. And guess what? The product they're manufacturing is you. So that being said, multiple stories in the last 24 hours have come out. Of course, because people are concerned about their kids, the local news stations have the solution. They're just constantly now all of a sudden airing how they could put in these weapon detectors in schools, and they're AI run, they're AI scanners, right? Take a look at how problem reaction solution works. The government creates the problem, you react, and here's one of their solutions in addition to red flag laws is getting AI put in place for this AI infrastructure everywhere. And eventually, of course, when you give your rights up over to AI, they're going to be locking you in your home, locking you in institutions. You're not going to have freedoms anymore. You're going to be in a prison planet. Take a look.
That brings the question, what kind of technology do our schools have here at home to detect and report a security threat? I spoke with people in Niagara Falls today about their new AI camera system. It is software called Zero Eyes. And a parent, security officer, and superintendent, they tell me that they believe every school should have this. It's hard enough to send our kids to school, but then to worry about their safety.
Every minute of every day, I'm sure, today especially, parents are reeling over what happened and what's been happening.
Stacey Rowe has 2 students in the Niagara Falls School District. She says she feels safe sending her kids to school because of all the security measures in place.
Absolutely, and I speak for probably most of the people that go into this district. I certainly speak for the parent groups.
She says there's confidence their district is doing all it can to protect students from the unthinkable.
Sadly, we have to talk about this, but we have to talk about this.
Niagara Falls Superintendent Mark Laurie tells me they already have security officers, even bullet-resistant film on windows, and coming soon, new AI technology software in all security cameras to scan for weapons.
The artificial intelligence is loaded on all of our exterior cameras, 300 of them, and if 1/8 of a weapon is displayed, it will pick it up and send alerts.
Laurie tells me the cameras will be able to detect if someone has a weapon before they even reach the building.
And those 16 seconds that this could save many, many lives.
Laurie says the alert will first go to a third party to verify if it is a weapon. Police and staff with the app inside the school will be notified so they can go into lockdown. So every student, every visitor, every parent has to go through this.
Correct, yep.
Calvin Agee is one of many safety officers in the district who will get an alert if a weapon is detected.
There's crazy things that happen all over the world. You just got to be prepared for any situation that really happens.
The new AI software, which was purchased last spring, should be up and running before the end of the month.
We're able to get this on something called the BOCES CoServe. In Niagara Falls, we get 80% back on every one of our dollars spent. So this entire package that we bought only for the exterior cameras was $50,000.
A small price to pay to potentially save a life.
It should be everywhere, especially the detection system that we have currently, which can identify right from the parking lot, which saves priceless seconds.
Leah Lando, 7 News. Well, Laurie also says Grand Island was the first in the region to install this Zero Eyes AI software, followed by Niagara Falls and Niagara Wheatfield. And he says they did do a lot of research before purchasing it.
Delaware rolling out new technology to keep students safe after 2 separate shootings at one of their football and basketball games. And it comes just in time for their new football season. Our Greg Payne went to check it out.
At Appoquinimink High School, they're passionate about their Jaguars football.
It's a great environment, on Friday nights to make sure the band's playing, the cheerleaders are out on the track, and everyone's focused on the game.
But while the fans focus on the touchdowns and interceptions, those within the school district are focusing on safety. Back in September 2022, gunfire erupted near Appoquinimink High School after their football game, injuring 2 people. That same school year, February 2023, at a basketball game at the school, a gun was discharged in a hallway near the gymnasium. Luckily, no one was hurt, and the game was evacuated.
We are a community. We have 3 high schools, and we want families to be able to come out to our events, whether it's on Friday night football games or any of our athletic events, and feel safe.
The way they are providing that added layer of protection for all 3 of their high schools starts with an initial ticket and bag check And then
we ask them to walk right through.
From there, the Evolve AI device takes over, searching for weapons based on shape and size.
Our flow control keeps them moving. They're watching this light. This is green. If this turns red, that signals that something's been detected by the system.
Which we wanted to put the device to the test with an object resembling a firearm.
Dr. Conley walks through. The green light turned to red. And then the picture shows up on my screen so I can identify her as the person who's been detected, and I can send her over to our constable.
On the screen, a box surrounding what the device believes to be a weapon. The district is going into its second year using the devices at their football stadiums and gymnasiums.
It's gone very well. A couple of hiccups, people getting used to the flow. We want you to keep moving. The system's designed for that. We put signage out, what you can bring, what you can't bring. So as long as we've communicated that to the community, they've been very receptive to it.
The Appoquinimink School District was one of the first to get the devices, and now other districts within the state, like Seaford School District and Cape Henlopen, are also doing the same to protect their students and fans.
But that's something we celebrate here in our school district. We want to be first, and we really want to take the safety and security of our staff and our students and our community. That's at the forefront of our minds.
Now, for those that don't want to walk through because of medical reasons, all they have to do is show their medical card, and then they'll just be wanded.
Well, we know a lot of you are asking, what are schools in our area doing to keep students safe? For several of our districts, that means using metal detectors at school entrances. Tonight, our Katie Lusso is talking with those in charge of security at Prince William County Public Schools. They say this technology is working, so they plan to use it elsewhere too.
This is now the second year that Prince William County middle, high, and non-traditional school students are required to pass through weapons detection scanners.
We had a 93% clearance rate, which meant students were able to pass through very quickly and seamlessly to get to class on time.
Now they're bringing that technology, an extra layer of security, to events that draw the largest crowds.
What we're looking for are weapons. We're looking for guns. And we're proud to say that last school year we had 0 firearms get into our schools across the division, which is huge. And our other weapons were down 72% from the previous year.
So this year you can expect to see these weapons detection scanners at all home varsity football and varsity boys basketball games. Here's how it works. When you arrive to a game, you scan your ticket and walk through.
And this gate would be open, and then just inside there, you won't even know it, but you walked right through the metal scanner.
Okay.
Right?
So it'll look just like this.
It'll look the same. You won't even know you went through it.
He had us walk through one inside the school carrying a test object that would set off the machine.
And looking for items that may be part of a weapon, and you had something on you. In this case, it was a test piece that would show us that you were carrying it on your left side, so we'd know to look on your left side for it.
At the end of the day, they say this is about keeping everyone safe.
This just isn't about the individual. Each school is a community, and it's our responsibility to keep that community safe.
Ah, yes. Community. Because remember, we're all part of a community, a communism community. Because the word community is derived from the word communism, if you haven't noticed. Communism, community, the word unity, united, communism. It's one and the same. You see, they've repackaged communism into woke community. That's part of what they're doing. It doesn't look and feel the way that communism used to look and feel in America, the way it's being marketed, because they know that people wouldn't accept it. So they've repackaged it. Caring community, love, the love movement, love wins. It's all part of it. It's a part of really a grand deception. So what you just saw is the solution that they have. The beginning of getting this stuff into schools. In the meantime, red flag laws will be placed. But you won't hear the alt-right media talking about AI. You won't hear them talking about technology because remember, the alt-right media is controlled. So they could talk common sense. They could say things that'll tickle your ears, things that shouldn't really build them audiences, but it does, right? Because the world's gone so insane. All these alt-right media guys have to do is talk about how men can't have babies and everybody's on board because they're really just looking for somebody who's speaking common sense at this point because every news station is pretty much speaking complete insanity and trying to normalize it. But they gatekeep. They gatekeep truth because they don't tell you how this entire New World Order is going to be run through technology and artificial intelligence. They want you to just think, these Democrats are the worst people on earth. Meanwhile, the Democrat civilians don't have a clue about what's going on just as much as the conservative ones don't. It's just that they're mind controlling both of them into division with one another while we continue to allow technology to move forward until it's too late to realize that this technology is in place to enslave us. That's the whole point of all the stuff you see in Hollywood. I've done videos on it. And of course, a lot of them have been removed, but I talked about Scarlett Johansson, a lot of these celebrities, how they've come out and they've been criticizing AI. They're not criticizing AI because AI is taking jobs away from them and that they want to make, because this is going to put laws in place that once laws are in place that artificial intelligence is a real thing, it's not to protect us from AI, it's to protect AI from us. So once there's laws in place, we have to look at artificial intelligence as if it's real, it's here, it exists. There's no getting rid of artificial intelligence once there's laws in place. And that's why Hollywood is doing their part to get laws in place that say, well, we got to protect people's privacy from AI, instead of going, why don't we just get rid of all AI and arrest everybody responsible for creating it, pushing it out, investigate these big tech companies. Now, again, that'll never happen because big tech, Google itself is the government. They're all working with each other. I mean, they're all government branches is what they are. They're not some group. They want you to believe that they came up with this idea. They do these things and, they're all smart tech guys, right? It's the government. I mean, it's all the government. We can look at the internet itself, which goes back to CERN anyway. We can realize that all this stuff goes and flows through the government. So once we allow stuff like this to happen and we allow AI to be put in place, when people start realizing that AI is locking them up and doing these things, and when they put a carbon footprint in place and you can't exit your home because you're allotted amount of time to come and go, you're going to finally realize what this was really all about. And it's going to be too late, because once it's in place, once the infrastructure's in place, there won't be any turning back. And they're going to turn their backs on everyone, all the people who protect this current regime of government, which is both sides. Anybody who goes and votes and supports one of these two political parties is, in fact, a culprit, whether they realize it or not, in what's coming. And the stuff I just showed you with the schools, this isn't just for schools. New York City, remember the stories I talked about with the subway? These are long gone. New York City has started their scanning subway riders for weapons as well. Okay? And people just hear this and they think that it's about, they're like, what's wrong with that, man? That's a good thing. I don't want to be on the subway with someone with a knife. And they don't even realize it has nothing to do with that stuff. The government is creating all the problems. They're the ones who are funding people to go out and punch people in the face on the streets. All these operatives you hear about, somebody walked up to a stranger and punched him, right? And everyone's like, what is going on? It's all crazy stuff. The government's creating all of that. They're creating it so that you want a solution. And the solution they're giving you is this AI stuff. And then you're supposed to be so dumb that you're supposed to look at it and you're supposed to go, no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing because you wouldn't want to travel on a train with somebody with a knife or a gun. And you don't realize that once all this stuff is in place, they have full power over all of us. So sure, we could all look at it and say, well, there shouldn't be weapons on a subway, right? But there wouldn't be any of these problems if they weren't the ones causing it. They're causing it to put in this new infrastructure by creating all these problems that they're causing and creating. They're making people want this put in place. That's basic problem reaction solution. And that's exactly what you see going on with the schools. They're causing it everywhere. You're going to start seeing more and more of this stuff where they can detect what's in your pockets, you have a gun on you, blah, blah, blah. And the common civilian is going to think it's a good thing because they're going to go, well, this person shouldn't have a gun. This person shouldn't have a gun. Then when everybody's fully disarmed, period, because if you have a gun and this thing spots you from 50 feet away, blah, 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 they'll come and confiscate it. They'll consider you a threat and they're going to remove the guns that way. And they're going to remove knives. Everything's going to be gone. And people think it's crazy. Like, this guy's a crazy conspiracy nut, right? And then I show them what's going on in Australia. Oh, wow, the same stuff happens in Australia as here. The same fake news, manufactured news. Just every story over in Australia, guess what it's about? It's not about a rifle, okay? It's not about an AR. It's about a knife. Every story is about a knife. So-and-so goes to the mall, stabs 5 people. So-and-so goes here. Oh, wait a minute. What kind of great knife is that? Well, it's a really sharp knife. Really? Well, we're going to have to ban those. Oh, okay. So what's next? Well, we're going to move on to butter knives. Can we sell butter knives? Yeah, you can. Oh, and then in 2 years, there's stories about butter knives being dangerous. Then you're going to move on to plastic knives. Then eventually they're going to say, you don't need a knife at all. Your food's breakable. We're going to send you your food anyway. You're not going to farm. So what do you care? Right? They're disarming people with psychological operations, and they're tricking people into thinking that AI is their friend, and AI is going to enslave them. It starts in place. Look, if you look around at all this stuff that's going on, school, right? Okay, they're telling us there's all these problems that they're making at schools. They're putting AI in, they're putting AI in, they're putting AI in, right? And everybody's going, yeah, okay. If you told people 20 years ago that they were putting cameras in the schools, people would have said, absolutely not. It's an invasion of privacy. If you told them that the camera in the school is scanning people from X amount of feet away, you'd say that's a violation of my rights. But since they create all these fake stories, now all of a sudden, your rights don't matter. because everybody's in an uproar and they want this stuff in the school. You see how they remove rights? Same with the subway, right? Suddenly the subway, getting on the subway, it's like going through TSA at the airport, right? Remember in the airport, you could just get on the plane, right? And then they detonated those towers, right? Excuse me. I don't want to say that too loud. Those towers went boom, right? That they did, of course, from the bottom up, not from the top down, because we all know aluminum can't do that to steel. But anyway, what happened then? Patriot Act, but also what? TSA made more and more restrictions. And now people think it's normal to go through TSA like that. They think it's normal to get past. They're getting used to all this stuff. You're getting used to all this stuff. And all this stuff isn't to protect you from some dangerous threat. It's to protect them from us. That's what it's there for. To protect them. They want to be protected from the civilians, because when the civilians realize what has happened, what we've allowed them to do, it'll be too late with this infrastructure in place. And everyone's going to learn it. Gays are going to learn it. Blacks are going to learn it. Whites are going to learn it. Every single race, every single gender, everyone's going to realize it, that they've been duped. And it's going to be too late. There's going to be nothing anyone could do about it, because we allowed them to put all of this in place and recreate the infrastructure. And also at the same time as they're putting in this infrastructure, they're the ones who are tearing it down with weather weaponization, causing these earthquakes and all other, the mass amount of hurricanes. Blame it on the climate. For people out there who are new, who don't know about weather modification, it's real. The government's patented it going back to the 50s. I've shown you the clips of JFK even talking about it in the 50s. I mean, they have the ability to do it. Just most people, the news that they get is all made up news. So they don't actually know what the government's really doing. Instead, they just look at the political party. They look at bullying. Trump's a bully. These people are crazy. They want to castrate kids. They don't look at what the government's really doing. And eventually, the government's going to turn on the same people who are protecting them. Now, a lot of them will still live in a dystopian reality, because they'll say, well, it's fine that I'm home every single, every day I'm home at 8 o'clock, locked in my home. I can't go outside even if my house is on fire, because the smart locks will lock me in, because I'm doing it for the climate. I'm doing it for everybody else out there, for the future, because they're so warped that they think that this stuff is real, that they're creating. So they'll still, even when this stuff goes down, they'll still convince themselves that what they're doing is right. And that's part of how they've created this narcissistic perception, or narcissistic behavior, I should say, in our society with social media. That these people think that, what they're doing is helping. They're being a good person. You're not, by not complying and listening. And they don't even realize all this stuff they're doing is just for them to enslave themselves and then spread it, right? It's almost like if you showed a lot of these people who still go out and wear masks, who still say, hey, I'm going to shut my electricity off on a Friday because Big Brother tells me, because Gavin Newsom tells me, whoever tells me. If you came out and showed these people even doing a ritual, eating, flesh, and you said, look, they made it all up. You showed them all meeting together saying, hey, we're going to make all this up. This is why we're going to make it up. They would still, because they're narcissistic, they would still say, whatever, I still think it's the right thing to do. They're convincing themselves of this. So they take all their own rights away, and they want to take your rights away. That's how this whole thing works for anybody out there that doesn't understand. I thank everybody for being here. I appreciate all of you greatly. God bless all of you as always, and your families.